Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 26th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a couple things here to update. And we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Let's get a few more things here. And it looks like we are good to go. When I get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Good. One last place right here. Looks like we're good to go. I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in, and then we will get started shortly. All right, perfect. All right, guys, morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 26th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's gonna open in about 5 minutes. Start market liquidity over here. So I'm gonna start market liquidity a little differently today. And I will show you guys, it's a little different. So yesterday during the mentoring session, if you guys didn't attend the mentoring session, I do recommend you guys go and review it because it was a pretty good mentoring session. A lot of good questions got asked. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to color the higher highs and lower lows in red, because the higher highs and lower lows are typically the more risky areas to trade liquidity, because that's usually where the bounces happen. So instead of going from lower liquidity, I'm just going to mark them up from the type of liquidity that they are, or the type of high lows that they are. So the regular high lows are going to be in blue, and the high lows that are riskier are going to be in red. So yeah, because typically the regular high lows, price will just break right past them. But for the higher highs and lower lows, price typically tends to reject off them, because a lot of people use these lower lows and higher highs as support resistance. Also, they use them as supply and demand. So just a little change here for liquidity. I mean, if you're just trading liquidity normally, it's not really going to matter to you, but we did cover this during the mentoring session yesterday, and it makes sense. So thanks to Andy for bringing this up yesterday. He's actually looking to find weaker high lows, and I'll go, okay, this is we could use this in the reverse, because I typically use the higher highs and lower lows. That's why we use the higher highs and lower lows as the high points and low points for the high low momentum scalp, because it's considered a strong high or strong low. So the color is going to be slightly different, guys. The colors aren't based off time frames; they're based off strength of the high low. So you might want to be careful around the red ones. The blue ones are probably going to be easier to catch because price is probably going to blast right through them. So yeah, and this just goes out to people who are applying the high-low scalp or the liquidity push strategy. It's going to be considered, you know, stronger or weaker liquidity. All right, that's good. Going down to the 10-minute. So I think that should be it right there. So we got all liquidity marked up right here. We have liquidity down below. It's sitting at 34,060. And then we have a higher level over here at 34,186. So we got one level right here. And one level down here. This is going to be considered a strong high low. I mean, this will probably get hit pre-market, but yeah, this is considered one of the stronger high lows. So there goes the closest liquidity down below. It'll probably hit in the next minute or so. There it goes as it hits. And we'll see how that plays through. But I'll go back over here to the main chart because we're looking for the breakout V2 over here. So let's see, market's gonna open in about 20 seconds, guys. Morning, everybody. Morning, Vince. Morning, Dan. Morning, Randy. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Maria. Morning, Marcin. GF is asking, what's the lot size you recommend for 100K FTMO? Depending on which, if you're just taking these trades on the live session, the max lot size you should use is 100 lot. That's what I use on my 100K accounts. But again, it just depends on like your trading style. If you're taking like other trades, if your stop loss is wider than 300 pips, then use something smaller. But the max lot size you should be using at all times is 100 lots. If you don't feel comfortable with that, go a little bit lower. But 100 lots is what I use for my 100K accounts. Morning, Marcin. Morning, Ruin. Morning, Daniel. Morning, everybody. Yeah, no problem, Jeff. All right, so we got market open right here. This is the first candle. If we get two green candles here, technically the breakout V2 would be a buy right here. Again, some crazy movement here pre-market. So I mean, we'll see how this plays through. But you know, if it does play through, I'll let you know if I do enter the trade. I just got to see how these candles are moving. The ATR is currently at 11 right now, so it's a bit slow. So yeah, I'm going to follow through with these here. If we get a sell signal, then we have to look for a sell. But right now, we still have the buy signal here. So if we get two green candles, that's going to be considered the breakout V2 strategy. So there goes the first one. Second one looks like it may be coming up soon. Looks like liquidity down here already got hit. So if you guys took that, full TP. Yeah, so just watching it as this plays through and follows through right here. It's not very clear how it's moving. So you got to make sure that it closes green and there's no sell signal. If it closes green with the sell signal, this can't be the breakout V2. So if it closes green, just regular green, this is the breakout V2 entry. I'll be taking it. But again, you just want to be careful and make sure it doesn't close red, or if it doesn't close with the sell signal, because that's going to be, it's going to invalidate the entry. So you can see right here, it's a little choppy. Make sure that you actually wait for it to close before entering the actual trade. There goes the breakout V2 running. So I've had to watch it right here. I'll have to watch it. The spread right now is 190, so the spread's kind of wide. This would be the breakout V2 entry. So I'll be watching it manually and seeing how it moves. Obviously, the volatility right here is very low. It's not really moving too smoothly. And volatility is currently at 12 right now. Watching it as it pushes through. It has to cover the spread first. I don't think it's covered the spread yet because it's moving so slow. Spread's currently at 190. right, following it through right here. I might move my stop loss and profit soon. So the volatility here is very low. Let's see. Still following it through. I'm going to move my stop loss and profit here, guys, because it keeps bouncing around this area. I don't even like the bounce area right here. Oh, fuck, close me out. Shit. It's okay. Full TP on it right there almost looks like. It closed me out early. Fuck, damn, I shouldn't have moved my stop loss and profit. I dragged my stop loss up and then I let it go. I forgot that like when you just let it go, it doesn't confirm. So I pulled it up to this area right here. And then when it pulled back, I let it go on my mouse and then it just pulled back and stopped me out. And then it went straight to full TP. I thought I was going to confirm, like I was going to drag it, then I just say, okay, you want to confirm? And it just closed me out. So full TP on this right here, guys. If you guys caught it, it was a little bit of a choppy move because of the low volatility. I was hoping to just spike right through because that's typically what happens, right? It did spike through, but it took about 3 minutes. So let's see for that trade right there. I still locked in pretty good profit. Basically half of it, it's not, I guess a little more than half. So I locked in 2,500 on my 200K account, and then I locked in a little over 1,000 per other account. So as you guys can see right here, I felt comfortable with this position because we've been on a losing streak with the V2s. So, you put probability together, it's going to win eventually, right? Because it's over a 50% win rate. So right here is the V2, breakout V2, and it's still pushing up higher. If you guys want to follow for the momentum counter scalp, you can, but I'm going to go ahead and just take this off right here and should be good. So let me go and put this on the spreadsheet. That was a great trade, guys. If you guys took it, awesome. If you guys didn't, it's fine. There's going to be more trades. So here's a breakout V2. This was a win. Entry happened about 6:30 D2. Buy, win, full TP 250. I mean, it's a pretty solid move. So the win rate is now back up to 60%. Pretty solid. Copy this over to the official trades. So our win rate for the month so far is pretty good. Pretty decent for the most part. We are currently at an 80% win rate for the month so far, September. Been on a pretty decent win streak. Let me go back over here. All right, so no momentum scalp right now. And one thing I didn't realize is I forgot to look at news. Thanks, Marcin, for just reminding us. So sorry, guys, I totally forgot to look at news this morning. I was running a little late. So let me just mark up news real quick. We had building permits at 4:30. We had Redbook at 5:55, housing price at 6 o'clock, and we have more news at 7 and 7:30. So 4:30, 5:55, 6. Let me mark that up real quick. So 4:30, which was right there. We had news right here at 5:55, which is Redbook. And then we had news over here at 6 as well. All right, so there goes all the news. I'm going to mark up opening price right there. Perfect. We have news over here at 7 and I think 7:30, right? Let me check real quick. And 7:30. All right. So we got everything lined up right here. We have our entry for the day, breakout V2. Let's take a look at the liquidity. All right, so you guys can see over here, I think this setup right here does help a lot. Like the red liquidity is going to be considered the stronger liquidity. Red's going to be like the good color because it's like, okay, maybe avoid that or go for a smaller TP. And you can see right here, it went for quick 100 pips. So liquidity here hit full TP. If you guys took the first liquidity, went straight to TP on touch. And then the first entry we took over here was the the breakout V2 full TP as well for 250 pips. For the 2 entries that came up today, both full TPs, depending on which one you decided to take. I think majority of people here took the breakout V2 because obviously, you know, that's the strategy to take. So if you guys took that, solid work. If you guys didn't, it's fine. We're looking for other entries here. We'll be looking for the momentum counter scalp, and then we'll also be looking for the momentum pullback scalp. And then also the I mean, there's so many strategies we're looking for, guys. So if you guys didn't take that, it's fine. We have the momentum counter scalp, still looking for that. We're looking for the intraday scalp, and then we're also looking for the high-low momentum scalp. So we have a lot of different opportunities that, I mean, if you guys missed the other entries, you could be waiting for these. But there's a lot of opportunities out there still. So I'll look up other entries when they come up. I'm going to be a little more careful with the other entries because obviously the market here is not really moving too smoothly. I mean, it is pushing up, but the trend here is obviously bearish, right? So price is obviously going against the trend and it may correct back down. So with that said, we're going to have to see how the market moves in the next couple of minutes. So don't get too antsy about taking some entries, guys. Make sure that you fully analyze it. Make sure that the volatility is decent. Volatility right now is currently at 15. You guys can see the ATR down below right here. It's not great, but it's okay. I mean, the volatility is still moving, but it's not typically the fall volatility that we were looking for. We typically would see volatility around like 20 right now, you know, within the first 10 minutes of market open. But the volatility right here, you can see from our entry, it was a nice entry, but it was a very slow entry. Typically the breakout, it's a breakout for a reason. It's supposed to hit like right away. This one did hit, but it did take some time before it actually made the full push through. So, all right, we'll see where this, you know, ends up going through from this point. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, no, definitely. Hopefully you caught that too. See if there's anything else here. All right. Let's see if there's anything else here that I'm personally missing. All right, so we have a sell signal right here that is currently pending right now, or now it just closed. So we have a sell signal right here. If we get 2 green candles that follow this, that's going to be the momentum counter scalp. You know, if anything, I think I want to take lower risk today, so I might, well, depending on how the market's moving, if the market starts to pick up a little more, then, you know, great. But if it doesn't, then I might want to take a little bit of some lower risk. And what I might do is I might just take, I might just take this on my top step account. I mean, we'll see where this is at. Nice. William used a 50 lot on his 100K FTMO. So you locked in some pretty good profit off that, William. I think you probably locked in about, let's see, if you're on 100K, it would be, or if you're on 100 lot, it would be like 2,500. So you probably locked in half of that, so 1,750. So pretty solid right there. Yeah, thanks, William. William said, very good scalp method. Yeah, definitely. Glad to see a lot of people here locking in profits off that breakout V2. So if we get another green candle right here, guys, again, like I mentioned, this is going to technically be the momentum counter scalp. And make a couple adjustments over here. All right. See my counts. Turn that off. Sorry guys, I'm doing some stuff here on this side real quick. All right, so this will technically be the momentum counter scalp if this closes green. Let me see. Sorry, some of my accounts have to make some adjustments too because I forgot I'm requesting a payout soon for my FTMOs specifically. Yeah, not moving fast enough. All right, so unfortunately I wasn't able to get into this momentum counter scalp, guys. I was trying to make some adjustments on my, I gotta turn off the copier on my FTMO accounts because I'm requesting a payout this week. Let me see if I can mark it up for you guys. Let me see how big the candle was as well. So this would technically be the momentum counter scalp. I'm not in the position right now. I had to make some adjustments to my accounts. Quick. Because my master account is my FTMO 200K account. And I have to take the FTMO accounts off the copier. I don't know if I'll be able to do this fast enough. Here, I'll just take it off my top step. Maybe adjustments here too, though. Fuck, it's too late. They already did CP. All right, so the momentum scalp V2 or momentum counter scalp here just hit CP as well, guys. Sorry, I was trying to move quick so I can take the entry because it was in pullback, but unfortunately I missed it. It happened too quickly. So if you guys caught it right there, there's a momentum counter scalp. I marked it up for you guys. I had to make some adjustments to my copier. Unfortunately, I wasn't quick enough to make the adjustment, so that's all good. God damn, that was a good entry too. This is what I kind of don't like about having like multiple, like having the copier, because during days like this where I'm getting my payout this week for FTMO, I wasn't able to move quick enough, and my master account is my FTMO, so I wouldn't be able to take the trade on there. I mean, I could have taken it, but I didn't want to risk anything since I'm going to get the payout. It's all good. It looks like a lot of you guys here caught it. Yeah, Marcin caught it. CC got it. I don't know if anybody else caught it, but yeah, it's heading towards liquidity like Rashida just mentioned. Yeah, solid work, guys. So let me measure this right here. Yeah, pretty solid entry. So it looks like, I mean, for the most part, it looks like a lot of these entries, or I mean, all of them basically, have hit on open. So we had a momentum counter scalp there. I'll mark this up as well. So that right there, full TP. This happened at, let's say 6:43. It was for a buy when 100 pips. All right, so it looks like we have like 3 back-to-back wins so far for today. For the momentum, for the breakout V2, the momentum counter scalp, and there's actually another entry that's currently running right now too. This is for the, what is it, pivot scalp, I think. No, the ATR is too low, it looks like. Or actually, I mean, technically it's still running, it looks like. So, I mean, depending on how you're applying the pivot scalp strategy, there's technically a pivot scalp entry that's currently running right now. Triple confluence that you mentioned. Yeah, so there's a triple confluence that's currently running at the moment. Not in the position, but we'll follow up and see where it goes. See where we're at over here. Price is still, I mean, it's still trying to climb up to liquidity. So the next level of liquidity is going to be up here, of course. And we'll see where this, ends up climbing to. But I mean, it's not there yet. So basically, out of the main entries that we took today, there was the breakout V2. There was the, what else is there? Breakout V2, momentum counter scalp, and then also the early liquidity. So there's liquidity right here. There's 2 entries that came up that we pretty much identified and documented. And then now we're just following this triple confluence that's running through. I think price was overextended at this period. So it might have been, let me just measure it from this point here. So from this low point down here, and it wasn't necessarily overextended yet, but it was getting to that point. It was at 930 pips or 93 points. If you're measuring it from here, looks like it still could have been fine. It was like about 60 points. I mean, it just depends on where you're measuring the low. But from the lower low right here, the actual low looks like it was up like 900 pips. So it was a little overextended. I wouldn't say necessarily completely, but it was a little bit overextended for the most part from where it was currently at. I mean, we'll see if there's any other entries that come up here, but there's nothing else for us to necessarily look at, at this very moment. Raise the intraday scalp. Oh, yeah, so I'll take a look at the intraday scalp as well. I don't think the intraday scalp played through because the volatility was, I mean, the ATR was at 18. So it looks like it might have possibly hit stop loss already. Thanks, Maria, for mentioning that, because we need to make sure we document all these trades. So this one right here didn't play through, but at that point, I think price was a bit overextended. So not exactly the best entry. This price already made this big climb right here, retraced down, came back up, retraced back down right here. And then it's probably going to climb back up now from where it's currently at. But, it's still going to be considered a bit of a risk. So I'll mark that up and I'll put this in the data over here for the intraday scalp. So intraday scalp over here came up at about like 645. It was buy entry, loss, negative 180 pips. It's not a big loss, it's a small one because the ATR was currently at 18. All right, thanks for that. And then I'll continue looking forward for any other opportunities here. I mean, the high-low momentum scalp as well. So let me see, there's a higher high right here. There's actually a high-low momentum scalp for a sell, it looks like. So these trades are kind of running opposite of each other. Because it looks like, yeah, so that right there didn't play through, but the high-low momentum scalp right here, I mean, it's super choppy so I don't think either of them really played out right. Yeah, I don't think this one played out either. I mean, it came up, it like slightly hit stop loss right there, and then it came right back down. So there might have to be some adjustments done to these strategies, because if you were using the original TP stop loss for the high-low momentum scalp, it technically would have hit. If it was a 1030 split right there, it would have went straight to TP. You would have been able to withstand this manipulation right here. But if you had your TP and stop loss too close, you would have been manipulated out right here. So I'll document this too. We're just documenting the trades. I didn't take these trades here, but they're just for documentation purposes. So I will go and put that in over here. Yeah, it looks like the stop loss is just too tight. That's the adjustment that we might have to make for these other entries here, because we're basing it off the ATR, and the ATR is not really consistent. So the ATR earlier this morning was like 150 or 15, and then now it's at 19. But the problem is that the volatility keeps changing. It's not a consistent change of volatility. So if you guys can see, the volatility just keeps adjusting. It should have been around 20 earlier, but now it's not really at that point. So I'm going to go and put this in the data feed. The entry came up right here at 648. So obviously all these strategies right here are still work in progress. If the stop loss is too tight, we might have to make some adjustments, but it's all good. It wasn't a big loss. It was 190 pips for that right there. All right, so for the official strategies, I only took one entry for today. I took the breakout V2. That's pretty much all I took on my account. Looking over here, the momentum counter scalp, it hit TP. Unfortunately, I missed the trade. It would have been a good trade, but I missed it. For the breakout V2 over here, this hit full TP for 250 pips. For the intraday scalp, didn't hit. And then for the high-low momentum scalp, this didn't hit either. It slightly tipped the stop loss, and then it went straight down to TP. So it's all good. I mean, this is the type of market that we're in right now. We're in a transition between the summer season and the fall season. So the volatility is kind of like back and forth. You'll get like these random spikes in volatility, and then you'll get a slow market, and it's just bouncing back and forth from where we're currently at. So you just got to be a little careful with these entries. A lot of these entries that we're testing, just be careful with them. If I'm telling you that I'm taking the entry, for example, The main ones that I'm taking would be the breakout V2. That's the one I took today. And then the momentum counter scalp, if I'm able to catch it. Unfortunately, I missed it today, but it did play out and hit full TP. So now we're looking for some momentum pullback scalps. Looking at, oh, gotcha. Okay, so Maria's right. The high-low momentum scalp came up earlier right here. The candle was too big though, Maria, so you wouldn't have taken this one. So this one I here didn't play through. This is 300 pips. If you look at the criteria, maximum candle size could be 30 pips or 30 points. So this candle right here was 30 points, like exactly. A little over 31. So this one would have been skipped. This one would have been taken. Either way, they both would have been, either one would have not played out. Like this one right here, the stop loss was too close. It tipped the stop loss and it came right back down. So this one right here would be the high-level momentum scalp. All right, so I haven't taken any losses yet today. I've just taken that first trade from earlier. Now we're going to look for some momentum pullback scalps. So let me go over here real quick. I'm going to go and mark up the levels. So let's see, we got 80 right here, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Let's go down here to 70, 60, 50, 40, 30. All right, so we're looking for some momentum pullback scalps now, guys. I think that's pretty much it for the strategies that we're testing. We're back to our main official strategy here. We're looking for a sell bias. If price pulls down below this area from where it's currently at, we're looking for this red pivot to cross above all the other pivots. The trend meter is not necessary, but it would be nice if it was red as well. It's probably going to shift as price continues to drop lower. So we're looking for this red pivot over here to cross above all the other pivots to confirm a bearish trend. Once we confirm that, we're going to be looking for a possible sell here. So, I mean, we don't have it yet, but that is basically what we're looking for here. So we're just looking for this red pivot to cross above all the other pivots. Once it does that, we'll be looking for a possible sell. Right now, we don't currently have that yet. I mean, we kind of have it here, but we're looking for price to drop a little bit lower. So we need this to drop slightly, retrace, and continue down. And then we do have news right here at 7 o'clock. Thanks, Maddie, for the heads up. So we're not going to be taking anything right now anyways. We'd have to wait for the news to pass. So we got news right here at 7 o'clock in about 4 minutes. Probably wanted to sit tight, wait for the news to pass. And once it passes, we'll look for a possible entry between here and 7:30, and then we'll go from there. So as we look at that, let me take a look at the overall bias for today, because we haven't marked that up yet. So for today, the overall bias with regard to retail sentiment is currently 57% long. It's not very strong, but it is like a bearish neutral. So I'll go ahead and put that over here. So today's overall bias, it'll be retail sentiment, bearish neutral, currently at 57% long. Fundamental bias, let's take a look at that real quick. Fundamental bias over here is currently 175 points red. So this is bearish right now. Bearish, negative 175 points. Short-term technicals, I'm going to take a long shot. I'm going to say it's bearish. Long-term technicals, and I'm going to say this is bearish as well. So let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, short-term over here is bearish. You can see prices below the pivots. Trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. On the higher time frames, same thing. Prices below the pivots. Trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. So pretty much bearish bias with regard to the technicals. So we have a bit of a bearish bias here. So we got news coming up right here. I'm hoping the entry doesn't come up soon, because if it does, it's going to suck, because we can't take This entry here, it's going to line up for an entry, but we can't take it here. So technically, if this candle closes below the black line right there, this is technically going to be an entry for a momentum counter scalp. Unfortunately, the problem with this here is that there's news right there, so we can't necessarily take the trade even if we wanted to. So it's got to be a little careful. With entries here, I mean, we can't take it. So I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not going to take it. There's news coming up right here in about 2 minutes. So last thing I want to do is take a trade when news comes up. Check the news real quick. So news for today, or at 7 o'clock, it's high impact news. So we have Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index, CB Consumer Confidence, new home sales, Richmond Fed Manufacturing Shipments, and Richmond Fed Services Index. So we got, all right, positive news so far. The high impact stuff hasn't come in yet. All right, so the entry would have happened right there, guys. Unfortunately, we couldn't take the trade because it was too close to news. A couple of news events happened already. There's still 2 that are pending, or 3 that are pending. But that would have been the entry right there at the 90 mark. So price pulled down, we get a sell momentum, and then price retraced right here, and that would have been the entry. And this is why we skip news. We don't trade news because stuff like this happens. A lot of crazy movement. So here's the actual news candle right here. I'll go and mark that up. Color that purple. So we're not in this position, guys. Main reason we're not in this position is because of the news event at 7 o'clock. Let me go and take a look at the news event. So the high impact news is actually negative. Everything here was negative for high impact. Low impact was positive. You know, if that's the case, and you guys can see how crazy price is moving right here. So that's the main reason why we don't take a trade when there's news right there, because you don't want to get caught in this. Like, a lot of things can happen. Price will either spike to your TP or it'll spike to your stop loss. And you don't want to take that risk. At that point, you're just gambling. You're not even trading at that point. So we don't trade news typically, you know, a few minutes before, because the last thing you want to do is get caught in that trade, and then news comes out, and then your position's all screwed. So, all right, we will continue looking for the next opportunity here, but there's just nothing for us to take right now. I mean, technically, this trade's still running. Let me see if I can put it back up. Yeah, technically the trade is still running. We're not in this position, but the trade is still technically running. A lot of the movement here is based off the news. You can see the news happened right here at this pink line. So a lot of this price reaction is based off the news. If it does correct back down to where it's supposed to go, it's going to come down and go straight to TP. That's if it comes down to where it's supposed to go. There's no telling if it's going to, or if it will or if it won't. But if it does, that's where it's supposed to go down to. So. And it looks like it did hit. So you guys can see that the strategy still works fine. The only problem here is that you get caught in this mess. So that's why we don't take the trade during news. But you can see that the trade still played out. It just got manipulated here based off news, and then it came right back down to where it was supposed to go. So unfortunately, we weren't able to take that trade. If you guys took it, I mean, it looks like it played through, but if not, then it's all good. We'll move on to the next one here. So we need a sell signal, another sell signal. Once we get the sell signal right here, we're going to look for another opportunity for entry. So we need that sell signal to come up. Once the sell signal comes up, we'll let price come down a little bit, retrace, and continue down from where it's at. Let me just post up my profits for the day so far. All right, so here are my profits for the day so far. So I locked in about 1,200 off my funded engineer account. My FTMO locked in 1,360, second FTMO 1,360, third FTMO 1,360. My 200K account locked in 2,520. This is my second funded engineer account locked in 595. This is my personal account locked in 484. Second personal account 484. My TFF account 1,466, and then my second TFF account total profit of 1,466 as well. So pretty decent profit, you know, for the most part. That's pretty much what I locked in for the day. And then for the week, this is what I locked in. For the month, this is what I locked in. So pretty good profits right there. I'm going to go ahead and put an update for that real quick. Actually, I didn't even put an update for the trade that I took so that you guys know what trade was taken there. All right, so looking at everybody else's profits, we have Patricia over here. She locked in the total profit of 1,670 on her first account, 1,670 on her second account, 1,270 on her third account, and 407 on her fourth account. All wins right there. Nice work, Patricia. So solid profits right there. There's no entry yet, guys. We're looking for the sell signal, so don't worry. You guys are not missing out on anything right now specifically. Here's Rashida's trades for the day. She locked in a total profit of 1,984. Nice work, Rashida. Yeah, solid profits, guys. You guys are doing pretty good for today so far. I mean, it looks like a lot of you guys took a breakout with me, so that's where a lot of the profits came from. Looking over here at team profits, we got Vince over here, total profit of 655 for the day. Nice work, Vince. Solid profit there. Kenny over here, total profit of 2,480 for the day. Nice work right there, Kenny. We got Natasha here, total profit of 312. She took the breakout and the counter move. Madhu over here, total profit of 780 for the day. We've got Marcin over here, total profit of 400 for the day. Nice work, Marcin. All right, guys. So great profits so far. If you guys have more profits to share, feel free to send them in. We have a pending sell signal right here. There's no entry for us to take at the moment, but we are looking for possible opportunity right here. Vince said V1 at 702. Yeah, right over here. So if you guys saw the V1 variation right here, it's one that Vince identified. Down right there also hit full TP. Yeah, full TP right there for the V1 variation. Overall bias was bearish, so that did meet criteria for a V1 variation. It's been a while since we've had the ability to identify a proper V1 because there hasn't been much of an overall bias, but today there was. So nice work, Vince, on identifying that right there. There's actually two of them. There's one up here too. So this right here, V1 variation. Second one up here, another V1 variation. Both of them hit full TP. So either one, if you guys took either V1s, I think Vince also identified that too. Maddie also mentioned it blasted through open and out 1 hour liquidity. Yeah, it came down and touched it. So again, right here, guys, you guys can see these red liquidities are not very strong, right? Price tends to bounce off them because these red ones are labeled at the higher highs and lower lows. They're just not good areas to take liquidity. So I wouldn't have taken either of these right here. We'll keep using this as labels. We'll use the red and blue as labels for the higher highs and lower lows because it does help identifying, which ones you want to possibly avoid. So if price ever climbs back up here, I would probably want to take this one up here because this is considered a better level of liquidity. It's kind of a mixed bag though, because looking over here on the 1 minute, it's identified as a higher high. So on the higher time frames, it's a higher low, but over here it's identified as a higher high. So we'll see if we have an entry here, but you guys can see how crazy the market is now moving, right? The volatility picked up heavy. So volatility is now at 20 points ATR. And you guys can see that there's not really much of consistency with the market movement here. Price kind of came down slightly, spiked all the way back up. If we're looking for an entry here for the momentum counter scalp, we need price to actually come down a lot lower. So let me just mark up some more levels down here. But we do need price to come down a lot lower from where it's currently at. It's not in an area right now where we can take any entries. So yeah, just looking at this right here. We need this to be somewhere like farther down below, way down here, in order for us to take this as a momentum counter scalp, because the sell signal is right here. So price needs to be like way down below this point before we can even think about taking any entries here. So again, guys, just gotta be patient with these entries here. This market volatility is just all over the place right now. it's kind of dying down again. It was like, we're getting these random spikes. We got the spike down, spike back up, and then now it's just climbing its way back down to where it's supposed to go. It did reject off the previous session low though. So right here, you can see the blue line. Blue line is the New York session low from yesterday. Price basically came back down to that low and then it bounced directly off it. But again, there's no entries for us right now at the moment. So I think right now we'll wait. I'm just going to add up my profits for the day, week, and month so far. So let's see, 1200, 1360, 1360, 1360, 2520, 595, 484, 484, 466, 466. So for the day so far, I'm currently at 12,295. For the week so far, I'm currently at 2050, 2470, 2470, 2470, 4540, 1015, 829, 829, 2432, 2432. Total profit of 21,537 for the week. And for the month so far, 12,170, 13,530, 13,170, 13,830, 21,189, 5,800, 12,94, 4,072, 13,166, 13,69. Total profit of 111,240 for the month. So for the day so far, I'm up 12,000. For the week so far, I'm up 21,000. And for the month so far, for all the trades we took in September, right here, I'm in profit 111,000. That's crazy. So you guys can see, I mean, I'm not showing this to show off to you guys. I'm just showing this to show you guys that if you're consistent and you stick to like what we're doing here on the live sessions, this is a profit that's possible. So just keep that in mind, guys. I'm not taking too many trades. I'm taking like 1 or 2 trades a day. I'm taking high quality entries. Again, right here, I'm still looking for another entry for a momentum pullback scalp. But realistically, if the trade doesn't come up, it's not going to make or break my trading week, right? Because I'm already doing so well for the week so far. There's no point in me taking something risky, but I am looking for an entry here. So I'm just waiting for the trade to come to me. I think that's kind of the point that I'm getting across to you guys. You guys don't have to force anything. Just wait for the trade to come to you. If it looks like a great trade, then take the trade, and then your profits will just continue to add up over the over the time period. So yeah, I mean, there's only so much that I can like kind of get across to you guys, but it's really just you guys executing. So I can give you guys as much information, as much analysis, and as much heads up as possible, but it's really up to you to understand, when to take a trade and when not to take a trade. So generally just take a trade when I'm taking it, or if you want to take a trade when I'm not taking it, just make sure that it's not too risky. Just make sure that it's a quality trade. So other than that, let's see if there's anything else here. So we're still waiting for price to come down below. Again, guys, the sell signal is right here. I mean, price is now below it. We need price to stay down below here. So as price continues to come down from where it's currently at, if price does retrace up, entry point would be right here. So if we get a green candle, the entry technically be right here at the 40 mark. We're basically looking for this type of pattern here. Basically, price come down, retrace up, and then continue down lower, which should be right there. So for my FTMO accounts, I have my payout date coming up soon. So what I might do is I'm gonna have to stop trading on my main account, my 200K. I'm gonna get my payouts on the accounts as they come in because they're on different dates. The last thing I want to do is make a mistake, towards the end of the month. So it's currently September 26th. There's only a few days left in the month. So I think I'm going to request a payout for 2 of my FTMOs, one of my 100Ks and one of my 200Ks. I'll let the other 2 keep running. And then we'll see where that goes from there. So you might see like my my whole list over here might change, because sometimes what FTMO does is they switch you between servers. Right now I'm on server 2. I think Patricia's on server 2 too, which is not the good server. I think they put us on like B-Book right now because I wasn't taking too many trades last month. So, and I wasn't as consistent. So I think now that I made this much profit on this 200K account, they might switch me over back to server 1. That's just what I'm thinking, because I've been very consistent this month. Yeah, so like last month right here, you can see my win-loss ratio is at 68%, because we took a couple of dumb trades last month. Like a lot of these trades were my fault. You can see from the notes here, it says dumb trade. This month I'm pretty high. I'm at 80% win rate. So you can see like it kind of shifts from 82%, 91%. You can see every month I'm usually at a pretty high 1% rate. So I'm usually on server 1. But last month I wasn't on a great server, on a great like month. So they kind of moved me to server 2. And I think now that I'm back at 80%, they might move me back to server 1. So just a heads up, you know, my copier settings over here might change, because if they give me a new account, I got to swap this out with the new one. So this whole month thing it won't continue from where it's at. So this might be the last time you guys will see all my accounts for the month of September. So I just want to give you guys a heads up so that you guys know, just in case, you know, it looks different, because it's probably going to look different if I have to change the accounts. And I might have to take a break, because I don't know how long it's going to take for them to transfer the funds over and actually pay me out. I mean, it's a pretty decent payout for this month so far, 21,000. It's pretty good. It's a bigger payout than I'm typically used to, because our win rate is usually, and we've been taking bigger trades too with the breakout V2. So I'm usually going for like a couple hundred pips each month. And I think this month we made a lot more. Okay, let me measure this real quick, guys. So this is overextended right here. I don't know if I'll take this momentum pullback scalp. It's definitely a little bit too overextended. I'll mark it up for you guys, but you know, like I mentioned earlier, guys, you guys don't have to take every single trade. So if we get a green candle here, technically this is going to be the entry for the momentum pullback scalp. The only problem here, like I mentioned, is that it's overextended. And I think the farther that it drops, it's going to be like even more overextended, and it's just going to, it just gives more of a risk, because if you're taking a trade when price is super overextended like it is right here, it may pull back and just pull back a little too far and hit your stop loss before it comes back down. Because we're looking for that small pullback. We're not looking for the full-on retracement. If it's a full-on retracement, it might come up, then come back down. And that's not what you guys want. Yeah, this continuous drop right here is just way too far down. So if the entry does come up, I'll mark it up for you guys. But again, I'm probably not going to take this myself, guys. So I'm going to consider this a risky trade. I will mark it up. So if you guys do want to take a risky trade, it's up to you. But for me, I'm not looking to risk anything here. Man, it was a pretty good month, guys. Like now that this might be the last, you know, full account post for the month, I think we did pretty good. I don't know if I'll do this for October. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. Because I'm typically I don't care to show my profits. I just want to show you guys the consistency for the month. Because a lot of complaints that people like have are that they can't find consistency, right? This is like proof that there's consistency, because we have every live session documented. Like if you want to watch every live session for September, you can pull up the YouTube channel. So if you go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kodi Kai trades, and you want to see like how did I lock in like 100K in profits for an entire month, right? You just go to the live sessions over here. And if you really want to study the way I trade, you can just go for the entire month of September 1st up until September 26th, right? You can watch all these live sessions right here, and you can see exactly how I traded and how I was able to lock in that much profit consistently. And then you have a spreadsheet here as well. If you're on the Discord, go down to Trading Journal, go to 2023 official trades. If you click on this button right here, it'll take you to the spreadsheet, and it has all my trades right here documented. I had a couple losses, not too many, but there was a couple losses here. And you guys can learn from this. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to have a 100K month at some point, you know, of course I'm using multiple accounts. So I guess you can consider it a 20K month if you're on a 200K account. If you're just counting one account here, if you want to have a 20K month, you can pretty much just study all my live trading sessions, study all the trades I took, and then understand like why I took those trades. You know, you have all the data in front of you. I try to be completely transparent, and it pretty much just gives you like insight of like my mind, because I think that's the main thing with a lot of traders is that you know, trading is not something that you can just like pick up and be automatically good at. I mean, some people do, but for the most part, to be consistent long term, you have to like really understand how the market moves. So it's hard for me to give you guys a strategy. Like for example, right here, I'm giving you guys a momentum pullback scalp entry right here, right? But for me personally, I'm not taking the trade because the price is overextended. So I can give you a strategy, but you have to understand when to use it and when not to use it. So, you know, everyone's always a little iffy on that. But the thing is, you can't really teach somebody to trade that way. It's going to be in their trading intuition. Yeah, C6 said it's good data. People always complain until they realize why we record these. When they look back next year wondering about how the profits were. Yeah, no, exactly. So a lot of these, so the whole YouTube channel, guys, the reason I started the YouTube channel was to document my journey. So if you guys see here, I've been trading for like 7 years now, or 8. I've been trading for 10 years on and off, but I've been trading consistently for 7 or 8 years now. So I don't post these videos here for, like, I don't care if people watch, I don't even have that many followers on YouTube. This isn't necessarily to show to the world. This is just for me to document, because I don't want to save all these videos on my computer. There's just too many videos here. If you guys look at all my videos, I have over 1,300 videos of live sessions. I don't know anybody that has this many live trading sessions, like legit live trading sessions. Not right. Here's one thing too. If someone says they trade live, make sure that you go to their channel and you click live here. Because if you go to videos, they just uploaded that video themselves, right? It's not a live session. If you want a legit live session, make sure that it's under the live tab, because these are actual like live streams. They're not edited and recorded and like posted later. Because what I see with a lot of people, like the new wave is live trading, right? Before it was signals, now everybody's doing live trading. But the thing is, a lot of these scammers who trade, they say they're live trading, but they're not really live trading. They're just recording the video, and then if the video is good, then they'll upload it. For me, I live trade, so like I can't pick and choose what's going to be uploaded or not, because everything there is raw. It's like raw footage. It's like watching me trade, looking at my emotions, all that stuff. Anyways, the entry came up right here, guys. I don't know if anybody took it, but the entry looks like it came up, it hit, and then went straight to TP for the momentum pullback scalp. So I don't know if anybody took it, but it was very overextended. If you measured price from this current area right here, it happened really quickly, so I didn't realize it hit until now. But the overextension right here was 1,350 pips. Price came down right here. We had the sell momentum. It was in a bearish trend. Price came down. Price retraced at this point right here. Entry would be right here at the 70 mark, and then would have went straight down to TP. So this is the momentum pullback scalp entry that we were looking for. Unfortunately, I didn't take it because price was overextended. So yeah, Maddie said, yeah, taking the sell after it dropped 134 points is a no for me. Yeah, same here, Maddie. It's just way too far down. We have another news event right here at 7:30. We'll see if we can maybe pull another entry as price continues to come in this direction, but I'm in no rush to force anything here. So you can see here that price is now starting to retrace up. This is what we were worried about. We were worried about price retracing up because of this overextension right here. This price came down super heavy. So what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for price to push up. Then I'm looking for price to come back down and provide entry. It's kind of like a head and shoulders pattern. So like, I mean, I just drew this here. I wasn't planning on drawing a head and shoulders, but it's basically a head and shoulders. So we're looking for price to push up higher, then reverse, then come down, retrace up, and then our entry would be right here. So now that I think of it, guys, this momentum pullback scalp is literally head and shoulders. It's just that I've simplified it, so you don't have to look for this stupid pattern. I mean, this pattern is kind of annoying. When you guys look for this pattern here, it's like it only shows up when like it's perfect, right? But It looks like the momentum pullback scalp strategy that I'm doing is basically a head and shoulders. It's just that I've basically made it simple because I use my indicators here to identify when it comes up. So for a lot of you guys who like head and shoulders, which is a lot of you guys here, I guess this is good news to you because the momentum pullback scalp is literally a head and shoulders. Yeah, C6, you have to look for this stupid pattern. Yeah, I don't really like patterns. I'm not a pattern trader, guys. I try to be a pattern trader at some point, but it just never clicked with me. So now that I created my own strategies, I mean, it's basically a head and shoulders pattern. It's just a lot simpler because we're looking for price to push up right here. And then we're basically just looking for a sell signal. So as price pushes up and climbs up higher at this point right here, let me just draw it again. So we're looking for price to push up, then come down, and come back down like right there. So basically we're looking for price to push up, retrace down, provide a sell signal at some point. Say we get a sell signal like right here at this top area. And then once we get the sell signal right there, we're gonna look for price to come down, retest the area, and then we make our entry from right there. So yeah, I mean, that's basically what we're looking for. We have news coming up right here at 7:30 though. So we got a lot of stuff coming up right here. Let me check the news calendar at 7:30. What's coming up? 7:30 Dallas Fed manufacturing or Dallas Fed services revenues. So just some inflation news. Fed services, it's low impact too. So see where this goes. But yeah, guys, back to what I was saying earlier with YouTube. Like, I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, but what I want you guys to do is, if you guys are ever looking at somebody who's trading or somebody that claims that they trade live, make sure that you vet them, right? Because the last thing I want you guys to do is go watch a different channel, which I don't care. You guys can go to another channel if you want, because I'd rather have less people using my strategies. Just make sure that you guys actually vet the person. So if you guys are looking to learn trading from anybody, really make sure that you vet them. I think that the best way to vet somebody, if they know how to trade, is to watch them trade live, or if they're like live streaming, ask them like real questions. Because it's crazy. Like I've sometimes I mess around and I go on other people's channels and they'll have a live stream and then they'll have like a Q&A, right? And you'll ask them a question like, hey, so what do you think about US30? Or what do you think about gold? Like just a random question. And then you'll ask them for analysis and they can't have a straight conversation with you. It's always like, they'll say something and it won't make any sense. And then they'll go off to another topic. Like if you ask me a trading question, I have a passion for trading. So I could talk trading with you guys all day. If you ask me about any asset, I can analyze it for you. I can use my strategies and I can show you my strategies on any asset. But I always find it funny because it's just like, because I've seen other people like in our group too. There's some people in here that will go to other people's groups and will just troll other traders that claim that they like know what they're doing. It's always funny when you talk to somebody that says you know how to trade, or like if you're in public, like say for example, if you're in public and then you talk to somebody about trading, and then the main thing that people like to talk about is stocks. It's like, bro, stocks is like they ask you like what stock are you trading? I'm like, oh, I trade US30. I'm like, okay, what's US30? And then you have to go into this whole deep conversation with somebody that supposedly knew how to trade. And it's just like that everywhere. Like just be careful who you guys learn trading from and talk trading to about, because a lot of people don't really know how to trade. They like the idea of knowing how to trade and they like the idea of like trading, but if you want to have a real conversation about trading, they probably can't hold the conversation or show you any analysis or give you any actual insight of like how the market's moving. Like I think I told somebody about like how the market moves in seasons and they didn't believe it. They thought it was all a lie. I was like, okay, I've been trading for years. So like if you trade between like January until June, you'll see the market's kind of volatile because it's the season right there. And then you trade from like May until June and it kind of slows down a little bit. Then from June until September, it's slow because it's summer market. So that's what I was saying earlier, guys. Like right now it's September. It's moving a little slow right now. It's not moving as fast as it typically does, but usually it picks up around this time. So every season's slightly different. And this season is just, it's not in full swing yet. So usually around this time, like late September, the market picks up. You can see earlier it was actually pretty high. It's like 20 ATR, but then it kind of died down a little bit. So I think the market will actually pick up closer to like maybe mid-October, if not early October. But I don't think within these next couple of days, the market's going to pick back up into full swing, because right now it's kind of slow in comparison to last year. You know, it's kind of hard to measure back because you can't pull back that far. But yeah, hopefully it does pick up. Anyways, we had a sell signal right here, guys, but price never came back below, so there's no entry. We have news coming up right here in about 2 minutes, so we'll see what happens here in the next couple of minutes. But we're not going to take any trades until after news is passed. So we'll wait until 7:30 right here. We'll see how price reacts to the news, and then once price reacts to the news, then we can start taking entries, because we want to make sure that there's no manipulation as around the time that we start to look for entries. So if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll just continue waiting for these entries to come up, and hopefully the volatility picks back up. It's currently at 16 right now, so it's a little slow. The main thing is that I'm hoping it doesn't drop down to like 15, 14, because if it drops down to 15, 14, like it's been dropping down to, there's just not going to be very much opportunity for us to take entries. So let's see, let's go over here real quick. So the news was just released. Let me go and so it actually came out a minute earlier. It was scheduled for 7:30, but it came out a minute earlier. Actually, it hasn't came out yet. It's coming out right now in about 4 seconds. Sorry, I was looking at this wrong one up here. All right, so we got news right about now. Let's see what it is. Still loading. All right, let's refresh it. Let's see. It's still loading. I'll come back to it. Let me just mark up news real quick. So we got news right there. Delete this. And there's no movement. It's still there. So let me go here to the clean chart. Oh, you know what? I just realized I marked up liquidity on the clean chart. It's okay. Let's use this chart as a clean chart for today. All right, so let me go and mark up opening price, which was there. So I'll just mark up structure here so that you guys can see how price is moving. The volatility is very low right now, so it's not really looking too great for us with regard to any following entries. There. I mean, you guys can see just from the structure that I'm drawing up, the market's been super messy. All right, so looking at this right here, you guys can see how messy the market is, right? It went into some consolidation here. And it came down super heavy, and now it's back into this range. So it's just ranging between these two zones right here, basically this upper area and this lower area right here. Let's check the news real quick. News still hasn't uploaded. All right, so the news right here was positive and negative. It's pretty mixed. There was a V1 variation right there that Vince just mentioned. Yeah, Maddie said the retail sentiment is up 1%. Yeah, it's currently 58% long. So a lot of retail is currently buying right now. They're trying to buy the dip. I think price will continue dropping that. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It might continue dropping, might not. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell here because of the, obviously the market movement. I was thinking the V1 variation, you can probably take this for a one-to-one risk reward as well. It's like, for example, right here, instead of going for 1030, you could have went for 1717. I mean, 1030 would have hit, but 1717 would have been good. So I think if the volatility is high enough, these V1s could play out pretty nice if you're doing like a 1-to-1 risk reward. I mean, I played out perfect right there. So maybe that's another strategy that we'll be looking at to apply for our spreadsheets. You know, I've just gotten like really addicted to like doing these spreadsheets because these spreadsheets help a lot, like with identifying these entries. Because you can see what's working and what's not. Like, for example, the high-low scalp strategy is not working right now this week. Intraday scalp is not working so well this week either. Breakout V2 is starting to pick back up. We had a bit of a losing streak right here, but it was because of the overextension and stuff. But you know, this is where it comes in. This is where like my knowledge and my experience from trading comes in, because we already knew not to take these trades. So we didn't even take any of these trades right here. So there's losses for the breakout V2, but for my actual trades here, I just took one of them, and that was pretty much it. Took one loss right there for the breakout V2, or actually two of them, on the 13th and the 15th. And then other than that, everything's been a straight win for us. So, you know, we have the strategies here. The strategies have a high win rate. It's just now improving with looking at what needs to be changed. But I mean, everything here is pretty decent. These are all one-to-one strategies. So as long as it's above 50%, it's going to be a profitable strategy. 57%, 58%, 60%, 86%, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. A lot of these strategies here, they're good to an extent, but there's always going to be room to make them better. So yeah, just keep that in mind. All right, we have another possibility of an entry right here. We have a current sell signal that's currently active. We just need price to come down a little bit. So we have one more opportunity here. It looks like it's setting up for a breakout, or sorry, for a momentum pullback scalp. We need price to drop down from where it's currently at. Retrace and continue from there. Yeah, so that whole head and shoulders pattern that I was just drawing up for you guys earlier, it looks like it's actually playing through. So we had to start from right here, shoulder, head, next shoulder. That's where the entry would be. So basically, we just need price to drop down a little lower from where it's currently at down here. You know, and then we'll see how this plays through. Yeah, Vince said all the V1s today would have hit ATR TP. Yeah, I mean, that would have been good, Vince, because you would have had a 1-to-1. I think the V1 variation, that's like a favorite for a lot of people. I feel like the problem with that with a lot of people was the fact that you couldn't really, it was hard to make it a 1-to-1. I think one thing that you might want to look at, Vince, for the V1 variation, and maybe we can make this like a super V1 variation instead of using a normal high-low. I mean, it wouldn't really matter because, like, right, for example, right here, this lower high, it was a V1 there and it worked out perfect. But I think if you focus on just the higher highs, they're like almost guaranteed. Like, for example, here there's a higher high and this thing played out perfect. ATR right here was at 18. This would have been really tight though. Yeah, this is the problem. When the candle's too big, you might have to go size of the candle. So either ATR or size of the candle. Right here is 27. That would have been perfect. This one right here, ATR right here was at 18. I think this one was fine though. Or you could have did size of the candle as well, 25. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to apply these strategies, guys. Like for me, I'm giving you guys the foundation to apply the strategies. The difference that you guys can make is just adjusting the TP stop loss. So you guys have the blueprint in front of you. You guys know how the strategy works. It's now just figuring out, okay, what's my TP and what's my stop loss? The closest to a 1-to-1 would be the best, but it's not always going to work that way. If the volatility is too high, you know, 1-to-1 is not going to be. If the volatility is too high or if it's too low, having a 1-to-1 is like it's really hard to do because the volatility is always shifting. And that's why we have a safety net. But if you guys can figure out a 1-to-1, I mean, it's going to be pretty solid. I think the ATR is good. It's just a matter of really finding how it flows, which is going to make a lot more sense next month. So right now the ATR is currently at 17. Right now from the summer market, the average is like 15. If the ATR is above 15, it's pretty decent. I think moving forward into like the next season would be like maybe around 20. Because I know it's going to pick up a little more. It's not going to pick up a lot, but it's going to pick up a little more from where it's currently at. Let's see. William's asking. That's not a V1, William, because the bias is bearish. So you're only looking for sells here. I know you probably saw a rejection from the bottom, but there's no V1 there because you're not going to go against the bias. So you're only looking for double bodies and double wicks off the top end. And also you're looking for a pending momentum too. So guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to let me know and we can cover what else you guys want me to cover. Right now, market is kind of just going sideways right now. I was hoping price would drop a little bit lower so that we can take that momentum pullback scalp, but unfortunately, price never came down to this point. I just consolidated here a bit, and now it's just going sideways. There's a high-low momentum scalp that came up right here too. Or actually, no, let's take that back. Sorry, guys. The momentum was past it already. All right, so I mean, if you guys are looking for any entries here, the only entries that I can really think of would probably be some V1 variations like what Vince is looking at. Unless price comes down to here. So if price comes down to this point, we can look for a possible momentum pullback scalp, but I'm not expecting that because we have a buy signal right here. So if anything, we might have to look for another sell signal before we start looking for entry. However, if we do get a buy signal there, you can possibly look for a V1 variation like what Vince is looking for. And like what I mentioned before, I think these higher highs and lower lows are probably be better points to make your entry. I think that's going to be a better confluence. Not necessary, but it is a better confluence when looking to take these. ATR is now down to 16, guys, or 15. It's kind of shuffling right here down below. If you guys are not sure where to look at the ATR, it's down here at the bottom. I tried to move the ATR higher, but it didn't really work. So I moved it up here and it didn't really show up on the list. So I had to leave it down here. I wish there was a way where I can just put the ATR right here on the side so that you guys can see. But I think it'll do from where it's currently at. It's not too hard to see. Let's see. All right, checking a couple of things here. That's good. All right, so now it's just a waiting game, guys. But yeah, if there's any questions or if there's anything that you guys want me to cover, just let me know and I'll cover it. Let me take a look at liquidity. Dang, I haven't even followed this. Yeah, so price pretty much blasted through liquidity here on the second touch. I think if you guys are looking to take these red zones, I think the red zones would probably be better for a second touch. If you guys are looking at these here, because like, for example, here it faked out at this point. Once it came down for the second touch, it blasted right through. So yeah, shout out to Andy for bringing this up because I didn't really think about this. I think this works better than the time frame levels of liquidity, because the time frame ones don't really matter since they overlap sometimes. Like the higher time frames will overlap with lower ones. I think this makes more sense when you're looking at the higher highs and lower lows and you're going from a top-down analysis. So yeah, no, and this is what's good about the mentoring sessions, guys. So I haven't been doing mentoring sessions every week. I'm going to try to do them a little more often, but I think yesterday's mentoring session was pretty good. So if you guys want to review that mentoring session, go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kodi Kai Trades, and then pull up. Sorry, what's this right here? So if you go to home, you're going to see where the mentoring sessions are right here. Click on this and then just go to the most recent one, which is right there on September 25th. Or if you guys are on the Discord, just go down to the mentoring sessions and then click on the most recent one right here on the 25th. Yeah, because we had a lot of good questions there. Like Ellen was asking a lot of like newer questions. And Andy had this question about how to improve the liquidity push, which is it's a favorite for a lot of you guys. So if you guys like to take liquidity push, I think that mentoring session covered a lot of points. And now that we're marking up these kind of differently with regard to higher highs and lower lows, it's easier to identify what's important and what's not, or what's better to look at for a second touch versus a single touch. All right, so price is pushing up right now. It's still bearish right now though, so there's nothing to take right now for, I mean, technically if this shifts to a bullish trend, then we can start looking for a buy, but right now it's still bearish. Yeah, Maddie mentioned that the retail sentiment is increasing. It's now 59% long. So if you guys are not familiar with how this works, for retail sentiment over here, it's currently 59% long. This indicates that 59% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy, because the majority of traders are not trading in the right direction. This right here is not a big number. We typically want it to be above 65%. Closer to 70 is going to be better because it will be very one-sided. But right now it's still more of a, I mean, it's starting to shift. So you can see earlier this morning, it was like at 56. Now it's at 59. So you can see a lot of retail traders are currently buying, and that's why price is slightly going up right here. However, the thing with market makers is that they're not going to make it that easy on retail traders, right? Retail traders like me and you, they're not just going to let price go up and climb up forever, right? They'll let price go up so people continue buying. And then once there's enough people on the buy side, what happens? Price dumps and they stop everybody out, right? It's like that saying, you know, like the trend's your friend until it ends, right? This trend here is shifting, or the trend was coming down and then now it ends. So if you held on for too long, it's gone. Now, if it comes back down, it's going to continue again for another cycle. So there's no entries for us right now, guys, unfortunately. I'll keep looking for possible entries here. If anything, a V1 would probably be what you guys are looking for, if you're looking to take anything like that. There's nothing there yet, but if you are. Let me just copy this over real quick to the Discord. All right, going over to the team profits. Nice. So Barty over here shared some profits as well. So just scrolling up real quick, we have some more profits here for you guys. So we got, let's see, we have Kenneth here, total profit of 1,950 for the day, all wins. Nice work right there, Kenneth. We have Gian over here, total profit of 1,110 for the day. Nice work, Gian. We've got Barty over here, total profit of 6,630 for the day. Nice work, Barty. Yeah, solid work right there. We have Marcin over here, total profit, well over 500 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Marcin. Yeah, Barty over here said, nice. So Barty over here just started his first funded account. He was at 250K. He's now at 264K. Let's go. Thank God. And Sean. Yeah, no, definitely Barty. Nice work right there. So if you guys saw Barty, he just got funded with the funded trader. I've never used the funded trader. We'll see how Barty does. And then, you know, once he gets his payout, maybe it's something I'll add on to my copier. But nice work, Barty. So Barty, yeah, Barty's currently up 14,000 on his funded account. So that's pretty good. Now you just got to stay consistent and get that payout. I think that's going to be the main thing to look out for. Looks like there is a possible V1 that just set up right here, guys. Let me see if I can mark it up for you guys. See what the ATR was. ATR was at 16. So I mean, if you're doing like typical V1 variation, it would be at 1030 like this. So it looks like it's still kind of just sitting around that area. I mean, price will probably come down. The candle was a little big, but it's not bigger than 300. So it is running right now. Looks like it's on its way to TP. So that's that one. If you want to do the ATR, it'd be at 16. So yeah, full TP right there, it looks like. So full TP right there if you're doing the 1030 split, and if you're doing the ATR, still technically running in profit. So this is the only entry that is really setting up right now. Like I mentioned earlier, guys, if you're looking for an entry to be the V1 variation, it technically already hit CP. But if you're doing the ATR 1-to-1, it looks like it's still running. The ATR here is kind of tight, so you might have wanted to shift it a little bit, and maybe instead of a 16-16, maybe do the size of the candle. It should be 27. But again, like I mentioned, guys, there's different ways of applying it. The original way right here, 1030 would have hit TP already. So that would have been the setup for that specific entry. Nice, Maddie caught it. There's a high-low momentum that's currently running right now too. Yeah, so there's a lot of entries that are coming up right here, guys, depending on which strategy that you guys are looking at. I mean, I'm not in any of these positions, but I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. There was a V1 variation that came up right there, full TP. And there is technically a high-low momentum scalp that's currently running right now too. I'm not in it. I'm just following these trades here. And then we may have an opportunity for a momentum pullback scalp, but the ATR is too low. It's currently at 15 right now. This isn't really the type of market that we want to trade in. We want the volatility to stay higher. Like right now, it's just too low. The reason why we don't want to trade when the volatility is low is because this is what will happen, right? See how price is moving sideways right here? It's not really doing anything, right? It's just going back and forth. Like we typically don't want this where price just keeps going back and forth. And then eventually it'll either spike to your TP or it'll spike to your stop loss, right? That's not a good position or market to be trading in, because you typically want things to be moving directional. Right now, it's not moving directional at all. So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. When the ATR is low, it's probably best to just sit out the market. I mean, this trade's probably going to hit it. It's probably going to hit, but it's going to take a while before it comes down further. And you don't want to be stuck in a position, especially if you're scalping. So for example, right here, this high-low momentum scalp has been running for about 3 minutes now. It's probably going to hit, but at this point, you're going to be stressing out because this trade should have hit like immediately. It should have hit within the first 2 minutes. Now you're holding on to it for a little too long. This is going to turn into an intraday trade if you hold on to it for like more than 10 minutes, right? A scalp's supposed to hit right away. It's supposed to just go straight to TP. But this right here, this might just go sideways for a while. And at that point, it's no longer a scalp. So the dynamics change for the position. If you're scalping, like our main goal here is to scalp. And if the trade doesn't hit right away, it's no longer a scalp. It either turns into a day trade, turns into an intraday trade, or even turn into a swing trade. If you guys remember, like initially during COVID, the volatility was so crazy on open. So like we would take 1,500 pip moves, like we'd hold on to that position, and then it would turn into a day trade, from a day trade into an intraday trade into a swing. And you'd be holding on to that position for like a whole week. I think if you guys used to follow me before when I used to trade Forex, we had this one trade and it ran for the entire month. It hit TP eventually, but it ran for a whole month because it would move like 1 or 2 pips every single day. So here's the high-low momentum scalp, guys. If you guys took it full TP. So there's a full TP for the V1 variation, full TP for the high-low momentum scalp. There's another possible entry that's coming up right now for a momentum pullback scalp, but again, the volatility here is not high enough. It's currently at 15, but I'm worried that if you get into a position here, it's going to die down and slow a bit. So what I'll do here is I'll follow the trade, but I'm probably not going to take it. I'm just being straight up with you guys. I just don't feel comfortable trading with the low volatility right here, because the last thing I want to do is get into a position close to 8 o'clock. And then 8 o'clock hits and then I get screwed and it just goes in the opposite direction, right? Because that's happened before and you guys have seen it happen before. You can see the ATR now is at 14, exactly what I was trying to avoid. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, if there's no questions, we're just going to wrap this up soon. There's just no reason for us to force any trades here. Yeah, there's just no reason. There's no reason to be on here longer than we need to. It's just not worth the risk. So yeah, if you guys are looking for a trade, we have some profits over here from Andreas. So Andreas just sent me his profits, total profit of 1,750 for the day, all wins. Looks like he took that V1 variation right there, or the high-low momentum scalp, actually. Nice work right there with that nice profit. So nice work right there, Andreas, with your profits for the day. I'm going to go ahead and take and post this up in the Discord. So if you guys have more profits to send in, feel free to send them in. Just another reminder, guys, At the end of this month, I'm no longer going to be using Telegram. So if you guys want to share your profits, feel free to put them in the Discord over here. I mean, you don't have to. If you want to share your profits on Telegram, that's fine. But for the live link, so for example, if you guys are looking to get the Zoom link for this specific, live session, you guys can send me profits and message me on Telegram. I'll still be on Telegram, but I'm not going to be posting the Zoom links on there anymore. So just keep that in mind, guys. Join the Discord if you haven't joined it already, because you guys can message me profits on here and you guys can message me directly on here, but you're going to get a faster response from me on Discord because I'm typically on Discord all day now. I just have it running pretty much all day. So just make sure that you guys join this if you guys haven't already. I'll post a link up on the Telegram again so that you guys can make it through. But for the most part, I just want to keep warning you guys because I don't want you guys to wake up on October 1st and panic because you don't see the Zoom link. The Zoom link will be posted on the Discord over here under premium live Zoom links. So premium live Zoom links, and you have all the links right here. We just want to migrate everything over because if you guys have noticed, so we still get a lot of bots on Telegram, right? So if you guys looked over the weekend, you guys can see how look at how many people joined the Telegram. I don't even have this link posted anywhere anymore. So I know all these people who join into the free Telegram are all scammers, right? These are all bots because the Telegram link is not posted anywhere anymore. So anybody who's joining on Telegram, I'm like, okay, these are all scammers or bots or something. And that's why we want to move away from Telegram. I think Kenny messages me at least once a week. Where's Kenny at? Kenny will message me at least once a week and he'll be like, hey, Sean, another scammer. And I'm like, yeah, this is why we moved to Discord. Yeah, so you got another scammer right here, Andre Stewart. The thing is funny because there was a scammer that was messaging people and they had a Vietnamese name, but they were it was a picture of a Russian girl. So I'm like, dude, this is obviously a scammer. If the scammers should at least have make it make sense with their scam profiles, like William Ray. And yeah, so Kenny here always messages me when he gets a scammer, and this is another reason why we're moving over to Discord, because I have more control over this here. Whenever somebody joins, I know who joins and I can see exactly when they join, if they're a real account or not. So yeah, other than that, Marcin said, yeah, thank you for today and for the great community. Yeah, definitely, Marcin. And I'm glad to see that you're consistent. Just looking at your profits, one of your profits or your profits for the day were pretty solid. This is Marcin's profits for the day. You've been finding a lot of consistency. I remember when you first joined, Marcin, you were kind of back and forth, but lately you've been very, very consistent with your profits. So great work there. And you just got to keep up the consistency. It seems like you're really getting it now. So that's always a good thing. Let's see. Randy said, one of those scammers honestly got me back into this group. Was already thinking about trading again, and he took it as a sign. Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I guess it works out in our favor sometimes, right, Randy? Yeah, it's good to have you back in the group because I haven't seen you or Edward in a while. I mean, we talked about Edward the other day. I know he pops into the live stream sometimes, but yeah, I think he's still trading too, or he's trying to get back into trading, which is cool. You guys and your group of friends. But yeah, other than that, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll just wrap this up for the day. There's not really much for us here to look at. It's currently 756. The volatility is too low. You guys can see over here that there's not really much going on, right? Price is just going sideways. And this is not the type of market that you want to trade in. If you guys can't see this, it's completely fine. Not a lot of people can tell when the market's not really doing nothing. The easiest way to confirm that without actually looking at the candles is just look down at the ATR. If the ATR is below 15, it's typically not doing anything, right? So you can see right here, ATR is currently at 13 and market's pretty flat. If you look over here to the clean chart, it's a little more obvious here because I have all these structures drawn up and it's a lot cleaner. Let's draw another structure right here. So, I mean, realistically, price is just going sideways from where it's currently at between these two lines right here. I can even draw a line right here. So So it'll be basically between these points right here, you guys can see this is where price is ranging. And there's just no opportunities for us to take anything here because the price will probably just fake out right here. And then what do you think will happen when it fakes out, pulls right back into the range, right? So it's just not a good area to trade in. There's just no point trading around this area. I mean, technically, there was an entry that came up right here for a momentum pullback scalp. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but it did come up right here. Not one I would take because of the low volatility. It basically just hit TP. So we had a sell signal right here. Trend was bearish. You can see prices below the pivots. Pivots are angling down. Trend meter's red. ATR was at 15. Price pushed down from this point. It retraced from right here. The entry would have been right here at the 4,000 mark or 400 mark. That's where the entry would be. And from that point, that would be the entry for the momentum pullback scalp. You can see right here on the next candle, it filled it. And it just went sideways for a good like 5 minutes before actually coming down and hitting TP right here. So it's just a messy entry, but it did play through. Yeah, Sisuk said he took it, took forever to hit, and he was in a bit of a panic attack the entire time. Yeah. I don't like that feeling, guys. I don't like the feeling of being in a position and being nervous, right? When I take a position, I like almost for sure guarantee no, it's going to hit. So I always feel confident with all the trades I take. For this right here, I wouldn't have felt confident with this entry. So that's why I wouldn't have taken it because the volatility is so low. You know, I would have just pulled out of this one like immediately. Let's see. Vince said that V1 hit the size of the candle. Oh, this one over here, Vince? Yeah, so again, right here, there's a confluence I was just telling you about. So the V1 over here with the higher high. I mentioned you can trade ATR. So if you wanted to trade the ATR off this trade right here, it would be 16 and it would have hit. And then if you wanted to, if like, say, for example, the candle's too big, you want to go size of the candle, you just go up right there to like, was it 29? And you can see right there, eventually it does hit. So, I mean, there's different ways of applying events. I know you like doing the V1 because you always ask about the V1. So I'm just giving you ideas here. So I think if you like the V1, probably try to figure out a one-to-one risk to reward strategy. Because if you can do that, then I think you'll be good because you can eat losses and then you just stack up the wins when they come up. Because the wins happen very often. It's just really controlling the losses. Because if you're doing negative risk to reward, you have to be very selective about the entries that you decide to take. Yeah, Daniel said a high level momentum just hit, definitely didn't take it, random spike. Yeah, so again, right here, guys, there's a lower low. You guys can see there's a lot of entries that have come up today. There's lower low, buy signal right here, high level momentum scalp. I think the candle would be a little too big though, right? Yeah, it was way too big. It's more than 300 pips. But technically, yeah, that would be a high level momentum scalp right there. Andreas said, what a rocket attack just happened. Let's check CNBC real quick. Is there any news here? Any breaking news? Not really. It just looks like a spike up. It looks like price was just a little too far down. So you can see right here, it's down 227 points. It's pretty low right now. I think this is a news event that just caused price to spike. So it says right here, S&P falls 1% to lowest level since June after disappointing economic data. So I think price just got too low to a low point. So the dip just happened to dip, it dipped too far down, and then they just spiked price up a little bit. And I think this is a trap. So you can see the price dip down to this point. Let me go to the opening chart. All right, so you can see how price kind of dipped down to this point right here. I think this is a trap. So I think what happened is they're just pushing price up slightly. So more retail traders will enter into buys here, and then it'll just come back down. Let's take a look at retail sentiment. So this number here isn't increasing. I think if you watch this increase and if it goes up to like 60 to 65%, I think at that point price will start to drop even further. But as of now, it's probably better to just sit out, guys, and just wait, because it's probably not the best time to get trapped in any position here. The ATR is still very low. I think that's the key thing here. Like if you hold on to a position, the volatility dies down, you're going to be trapped in this position for a little too long. And that's kind of what Sisuk mentioned over here. So in the Zoom, Sisuk said, this is when the ATR is low. It's worth not being trapped in an entry. Probability is very high that the market makers will look to stop people out. Yeah, that's a problem, because if you guys are looking when the market's going sideways, then you can get caught in the spikes in both directions, right? So the ATR right now is currently at 15. Imagine if they start spiking price, like say like, because like this candle here was pretty big. So like say for example, they spike a candle that's like 400 pips, right? If they spike price up or down 400 pips, you get stopped out automatically. So it doesn't matter if you're in a buy or a sell, price will probably just spike you out immediately. So probably not the best time to be looking for any entries. So, all right, guys, it's past 8 o'clock. So we're done with our live session for today. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to reach out. Again, if you guys are new here and you guys want access to the Discord or the website or anything really, just go to our website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access right here. Once you click on that, it'll give you access to the course. This is what the course looks like. It has pretty much everything on here. If you guys want the Discord, go down to Discord platform and the link will be right there at the Discord. So if you guys go down there, the link will be ready right there for you guys to join and sign in. And then you'll have access to the Discord. You guys can see over here on the Discord, it's very useful. Everything's on here. Some more team profits over here from Marcin. Nice work, Marcin. So Marcin's up, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 600 for the day. So great profits right there from Marcin and from everybody today. If you guys made profits, great. Go ahead and send them into the Discord or Telegram. Otherwise, if not, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow as we continue on with this trading week. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise,